Okay, so um, let's talk Specialist because I've gotten a lot of requests from a few people asking me about how I play Specialist because I tend to be a very, well, decent Specialist player, I guess. Specialist is usually my go-to class when it comes to just pure one-on-one engagements, simply because Specialist has the most consistent weapon in the game, as well as having, I think, the highest DPS in the game. I personally think that Assault, Officer, and Specialist are all on a pretty equal footing. Heavy, I think, has a slight lower disadvantage when it comes to one-on-one engagements, but I still think they can hold their own very well with the DC-15 LE, which I just started using a lot more, and I didn't realize how good it was. Once you get reduced recoil, this weapon is incredible. But yeah, I definitely think Heavy is the weakest class in terms of... why does it keep switching that? In terms of overall just performance, in terms of like 1v1 engagements. I think Heavy is more about their kit than anything else, specifically with anti-vehicle and objective taking and stuff. Again, you can yell at me if you want, but that's just my personal opinion. Specialist is a very interesting class. In Galactic Assault, Specialist is very much a 1v1 pick-off targets type of class. If they start getting into any sort of large engagements, they're just dead. You have to play Specialist very, very smart, especially now because you get Hardened Infiltration so late. Someone told me you unlock it at level 30, which is just absurd. So you have to grind for a while in order to unlock Hardened Infiltration, which is just kind of sad. Because it's probably like the most needed ability. For Officer, the last one you unlock at level 30 is Improved Battle Command and Recharge Command, which again, these are both like extremely needed abilities, but they're locked so late away. Heavy, I think, yeah, Supercharged and Explosive Sentry and Ion Turret are locked so late. And Survivalist too, which is really, really weird. Like all of the really good cards are locked away. I think the only one that doesn't have this problem is Assault. He gets all of his useful cards at the forefront, which is great. But yeah, it's kind of a shame. But anyway, back to Specialist. So yeah, so as you saw, my Specialist build is Stealth, Resourceful, and Hardened Infiltration. Stealth is pretty much required for any Specialist build. I mean, it pretty much gives you the advantage of not being spotted on the radar, and you also get, as you can see at epic level, the ability to one-shot Specialists and Assaults with your melee. It's pretty damn powerful. It's an incredibly strong card for pretty much any situation. I can't recommend it enough. You need it for every build. I would always have Stealth on here, no matter what build I have, just because of how good it is. Because of how fragile you are, you need to be hidden from the radar at all times, and also given how powerful your melee attacks can be, it's pretty much required. Resourceful I have on here just for to have my infiltration up faster, because I think infiltration is an extremely strong ability, and I pretty much always want this thing up as much as possible, so that's why I use Resourceful. Also, I love the Shock Grenade, because of its zoning potential. It's obviously not a good grenade for killing people, but it has such good zoning potential, very similar to the Toxic Grenade, the Acid Launcher from Assault. So I like using it a lot for that purpose. It really gives you a lot of control over space, and it's a really useful grenade overall, and having that on a faster cooldown is useful. And Hardened Infiltration, in my opinion, is the best infiltration ability for two reasons. Number one is it gives you increased defense, which obviously for a Specialist is pretty much required. And number two is it lasts the longest out of all of the infiltration abilities. So Scramble and normal infiltration last a certain amount of time. Hardened lasts longer. The base duration is longer. Now, I don't know if this was intended or not, but it's how it is. And that's why it is so good, because it gives you increased defense and because it lasts longer and your base time. Now, Killstreak Infiltration is also not bad. The problem with this, however, is the base duration is garbage. And if you don't have this card at rare or higher, it's just not useful. You also have to be able to actually kill people with it. Because you have to basically have the flank already set up. If you don't, you waste your time. So that's why I think Hardened Infiltration is the best one to get. Scramble is good too. And the reason why Scramble is good is because it gives your teammates information, which is incredibly useful. But because you don't get a lot of points out of being able to utilize that, and also because it really hinders your own ability to flank, you need Hardened Infiltration. That's why I would recommend it over anything else. So yeah. This is my build, and the reason why I go with this build is because I use the A280 CFE with burst mode. This rifle, I love this gun. This is one of my favorite guns in the game. It is the most consistent, and it probably has some of the fastest time to kill in the game. The only downside to this weapon is obviously the cooling power is garbage. It overheats, I think, after like 3 or 4 bursts, which is a shame. But it pays off with its pinpoint accuracy and its incredible damage. Its burst damage is just amazing. I love this gun. It basically does everything that I want as a specialist as a close quarters brawler flanker class, and that's why I use this gun. It is just amazing. I love it. Now, we'll talk about some other builds in a second. Let's talk about some other builds. Yeah, let's just do that. So, some other builds that are good to have. We already mentioned Scramble Infiltration. If you're going for an early game build, like for example, if you're a new player and you're leveling it, I would highly recommend getting Scramble because it's just so useful for your team, and it also helps you as well. It's just so useful for your team. The only downside to Scramble Infiltration is that at higher levels, it actually becomes worse because the Scramble gives away your position. While it does mess up people's radars, and that can be helpful if you're going in as a team, if you're going in by yourself, it basically reveals yourself. So take with that but what you will. The upgrade for this, unfortunately, doesn't really help it that much. So if you're going to use Scramble, use Resourceful. The problem is you might not have Resourceful at that point. So if you don't have Resourceful at that point, Survivalist is always a good choice. Or even Bounty Hunter. Marksman's not bad either. So yeah. Another build that's very popular is Personal Shield, Brawler, and Stealth. This is the melee build. It's a very, very strong build because of how much power Stealth gives you. You pop Personal Shield, you get HP regen on Brawler. It's a very, really strong build. What also can work is instead of Brawler, putting on Hardened Infiltration for extra defense. Pop your Hardened Infiltration, then pop your Personal Shield, and now you have even more defensive power, and it can help with those kind of pushes very well. For a long-range build, something that can be really nice, let's see. Marksman's never bad. Expert weapons handling can also be good as well for a lot of other builds. I don't personally use it because I think there's some other stuff that's better. And I don't play a really long-ranged specialist that much. Trip Mine is not bad. Against a lot of veteran players, they'll usually see it, but against a lot of unsuspecting noobs, it can help you. Stinger Pistol's not bad. I think they nerfed it quite a lot. It really, really is good against heroes, though, just for harassment. It obviously doesn't do a lot of damage, and it can be, again, a very useful zoning tool and harassment tool like the Shock Grenade, so that's not a bad choice either. But this is just my preferred build. If you're playing early on, so if you're a new player, right, and you're leveling Specialist, I would go with this build here. Stealth, Scramble, and either any of these here, depending on what you like. Bounty Hunter and Survivalist are probably your best bets. Marksman's also not bad either. But yeah, I would aim for this build. This is just my personal build. That, or go with Personal Shield and Brawler, or Personal Shield Resourceful, or Personal Shield Hardened Infiltration. Any of these builds are good. Personal shield is actually really, really strong. But it is countered by specialists with stealth and stuff like that. So yeah, stealth pretty much have on every build. I would pretty much never take stealth off. It's just that useful. And then whatever build you want for the other cards. But resourceful, hardened infiltration is my personal go-to. But again, if you don't like being a flanker and you like being more of a sniper, then you know, there's a lot of different options for you. But yeah. Okay, so for weapons, unfortunately, if you're grinding out specialist, the default sniper is garbage. It is a shadow of its former self. It used to be incredibly good in the beta. It was actually, I actually really liked it. I swapped between it and the A280 CFE quite often, but then they made it just an absolute shit show. The IQA 11 is literally just a better version of the default. It can two-shot most classes. As you can see, the cooling power is not much different, and the damage is huge. Like, the difference in stats is not much, but this weapon just kills faster. It's much more consistent. It kills faster. You can secure kills a lot easier. This is a really good gun. I really do enjoy the IQA 11. It's not a bad choice. It's a good all-around sniper. It can do a lot of stuff. For what you should get with it, it really depends on what you want. Dual zoom bolt speed is good. Improved cooling is also not bad for more close range builds, but I recommend dual zoom bolt speed if you want to be more of a long range sniper. The A280 CFE we already talked about. Even in the default mode, this thing's not bad. The ion shot you pretty much will never use. I don't understand why that's on this weapon because it deals such little damage against vehicles. I probably would never put that on here. But yeah, dual zoom burst mode. The burst mode's pretty much required, but even the single shot is not bad. You can do some pretty good damage with it. It just has a really fast time to kill overall, and it's a really, really strong gun. If you want to be more of a medium to close range brawler, the A280 CFE is what you want to go for. The range drop off, obviously compared to the other snipers, is the worst because it's made for more close to medium range, but it's a very, very strong gun, and if you want to go with the build that I'm going for, this is the weapon you're going to use all the time. And then finally, of course, the NT242. Now, this weapon is pretty much your main go-to 50 caliber, 50 cal sniper. It's incredibly powerful. It overheats after 3 shots. If on PC, this weapon is just amazing. On consoles, you have to really be a good aimer with it. Yeah, what else can I say about the NT242? It's a good weapon. I just don't like using it because it's not my style of play. But if you're somebody who likes really long-ranged, one-shot sniping, then obviously NT242 is going to be your go-to. All right, so let me actually just play a game of Blast and kind of show you guys what goes on here. Probably won't stick for the full match because I do need to stick to my limits of uploading. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. I got pinged somewhere on Discord. I don't know who pinged me. Whatever. All right, so we're on Endor. Endor is a very open map, but you really have to use. So in this map, when you're playing Specialist, you have to really use a lot of medium range engagements to your advantage because you can outrange most classes except maybe an assault with an A280 or the EL16. But yeah, using your advantage and also finding flanks behind cover to take out enemies is probably going to be your best bet. You have to play very smart with Specialist. If you're somebody who's not patient and somebody who can't see how situational awareness can be good for them, then don't play Specialist. You pretty much have the advantage of situational, you have the advantage of knowing where enemies are. And if you're somebody who can't utilize that or don't know how to utilize that in these types of games, then just don't play Specialist because, or at least don't play this type of Specialist because you're not going to get anywhere. I think Specialist in general, though, you need to have this knowledge. All right. So as you can see, Specialist, again, we're going with Stealth, Resourceful, Hardened Infiltration with the A280 CFE with Burst Mode. This is my preferred build, and this is my favorite build, and it looks like somebody's going to NT242. So yeah, we're on Endor, and there's 2 spawn points people like to take on Endor. All right, so we're going to go a little stealthy here. No one's spotted. Oh, see a bunch of targets over there, and we have somebody coming over this way on that flank. So we're going to use the cover here to try to get around on the flank. So you really need to also be aware of your cooldown. So like right here, I see this guy. I'm just going to kill him really quickly. and the enemy doesn't know where I am because I did that. And I know there's an enemy over here somewhere because I saw him on the radar from before. There he is. 3 bursts, he's dead. Just like that. Pretty simple stuff. Now, there's a lot of enemies over here, so I'm going to put on infiltration because it just came back up. And we're going to see what we can make happen here. Remember, when your duration runs out, you need to cancel the ability. Otherwise, you'll get stuck in an animation where you can't do anything for a few seconds. So let's throw a grenade here to try to windle these guys out. Oops, I missed the last shot of the burst there. There we go. Somebody on this flank here. There he is. See how useful you can be once you know where people are? And you can burst people down so fast if your aim is, you know, decent. With this gun, the spread is so minimal when, you know, when you're not moving, or when you're not sprinting, rather. All right, a couple guys over here. Let's see where they're at. Dude spawned over here. There's another guy over here. Let's just try to take him out if we can. A lot of guys over there, actually. I don't have my nade up yet. All right, so let's see. Yeah, he's a little long range for me. As you can see, even with hard infiltration, you know, even with infiltration, you can get outranged very easily. Infiltration has a very high spread at longer ranges as well as damage fall off. So if you realize you're at bad, my aim sucked there. If you realize you're at a bad engagement, you just have to switch back to your sniper, back to your main gun, and you know, deal with them at range. So that was a little bad performance there by me. I kind of messed up my aim there, but it's okay. Oh, I saw a dude who was low there. All right, there's a dude over here. He rolled, so he's down. You really need to also, general tip for this game in general. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I remember getting shot from the turret. Make use of people who are rolling because they're on a cooldown. If people are rolling, they can't aim and shoot you, so you can really take advantage of that. If you know, if they're paying attention to it. If they're not paying attention to it, it happens to me a lot. People like panic roll and then they just die because of it, because they don't know how to, you know, how to aim properly. There was a dude over here. Where is he? Oh, there he is. What is he doing in that corner? I have no idea. Let's go over here. Oh, that flashbang sucks. A little static, so let's get rid of the cooldown. Yeah, so always try to cancel your ability when it's low on duration. Otherwise, you're just going to get stuck, and or when it's low, you want to switch back to it. Something else. I tried to get the kill steal there, but it didn't work out. Yeah, so see that's an engagement that's a little too far. You can't really do much with this weapon at that kind of range. So you gotta be a little bit careful with that. Okay, there's a lot of enemies and they're spread out a lot. So I'm gonna see what I can do in this sort of flank here. Okay, there's a couple guys coming around here. Yeah, one of them saw me. Oh, all right, that was not. That's a good example of when to not ADS. Yeah, that ADS was pretty bad. I shouldn't have done that, but it's okay. Not my best game, definitely. You know, I could usually do a lot better, but you can see how, you know, okay, so I'm making nice headshots there. Headshot damage with this weapon is just ridiculous. I'm trying to see if anyone's on this flank. And there's a couple guys over here, it looks like. Yep. I'm going to be very careful here. Let's try to take that officer. Ah, that sucked. I mean, we're 12-4. It's not bad. I used to do a lot better. You know, but it is what it is. Our team's... good thing our team's doing pretty good as well. All right, let's keep, you know, dude's trying to snipe me from really far away. This team, their team is really spread out, so it's really hard for me to make good flank. Okay, there's someone coming over here. Now, my duration's kind of low here, so I'm just going to do that. So you can see I can two-burst a unsuspecting officer pretty easily. And there's a couple of guys over here as well. Binoculars is also a good thing to use if you want a quick assessment of where people are. But remember, when you use binoculars, you're really vulnerable. So always keep that in mind. Oof, that was a little bit of a bad range, but it's okay. All right, he's down. So you can even at these kind of medium longer ranges, you can still out damage people and you know, burst them down before they even know you're shooting at them, much more effectively than some other classes where their damage fall offs are a lot higher. All right, we can kill these two guys here. He was low. That ADS was kind of bad. Another guy on this flank here. Ooh, that was a good nade. Is he dead? Where's he at? Oh, That was a bad aim, and then that dude got my other teammate got killed. Yeah, so I don't know. If your aim is decent, you can do pretty well. Mine's kind of up in the air right now. I'm ADSing a little too much than I need to. That's for sure. You can get caught a lot in ADSing with this weapon because you really don't need to have some consistent accuracy. It's just at a lot of longer ranges you need to use it. Okay, there's a couple guys over here. A lot of guys over here, actually. This flank is going to be kind of hard. Yeah, that's a good example of the auto aim being a piece of crap. Oops. I tried to cancel my thing there and I screwed up, and there's a turret shooting me. Not nice. That's not good. I can headshot burst him. He's dead. I can outrange that death trooper.
We need you on the battlefront.
I can come around here before the timer runs out, and they should not suspect it. Yep, they don't. Oh, wow. Huh. Interesting. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but it had 2 seconds left, I think. If it didn't, I'm just blind, and I apologize, but I thought that flank would work, but I guess it didn't. Ah, damn it, yeah, he's gonna... There's a dude back here. Oh, there was a dude back there, but he's gone now. Alright. I figured I would be able to take him because my hardened. Ah, damn it, that sucks. Oh, this flank really, this really sucks. I'm low on health. I don't have my hardened up. All right, get my regen back up. Yeah, Survivalist can be a very good, oh, that's way too far. Survivalist can be a really good early on ability, and you can see why I use Resourceful with Hardened Infiltration, because I can make it come back so fast. Damn, that really sucked. that was a horrible play. 22 and 7, 8K, it's not bad. Could definitely be doing a little bit better. Could definitely be doing a lot better. I'm making a lot of mistakes, but oh Jesus. Hello. Oh, how did he not die from that? That was bad. Yeah. A lot of bad aims right now. I swear, guys, my aim is usually not. Oh, that's a bad spot. That's a very bad spot. He's gonna flash me probably. Oh, he died. Yeah, he died. Sweet, thanks. So back over here. We got this dude right there. I think he saw me, or he's dead. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I can outrange you, dude. I can easily outrange you. Dude spawned back here, really? Alright, there we go.
They're running. They should have done that.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Definitely a lot of mistakes, but you just have to really be aware of where people are, and then like if you can aim headshots, like they're dead, dude. Your burst with this weapon is incredibly powerful. Like look at all the officers, then there's just me. Like all these guys were playing officers most likely, and then I usually always score top, and people are like, "Wow, how are you so good with specialists?" I'm just like, I don't know, man. Yeah, so that was what 20. What was that, like 25 and... Okay, so 29 minus 6. Yeah, so 25 and 7. That's not bad. But yeah, it's, you know, it could definitely be a lot better. Definitely be a lot better. Or 23 and 7, I think. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of Specialist in a nutshell. It really comes down to your ability to do like quick CQC aiming with some of those abilities, but if you can do it, you can just destroy the crap out of people. The main problem with Infiltration is that the spread on the EE4 is pretty wide, as well as the the ability runs out pretty quickly. But if you're able to do pretty aim decently well with it, you can get a lot done with it. I wouldn't recommend Killstreak though, because the weapon is really inconsistent. And usually by the time you get a kill, you're usually very, very low on health, which is why Hardened is so useful. Just using the regular Infiltration even, like, you can die so fast. So I highly recommend Hardened Infiltration over anything else because of just how good it is. But yeah. So yeah, that's it on Specialist. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it, really.